man want me to hang with my single friend?
Oh, it's really simple when you're really thinking about it. See, the fact of the matter is that you're in a committed relationship. That means he wants to protect his investment. You. He provides for you. But these single friends don't have anybody to take care of them, and they're unaccounted for. So they do unaccounted for things. Meaning, the fact of the matter is that you were hanging out with your 3 or 4 friends. It's just a matter of time before her 3 or 4 nature happens to have a whole bunch of men chasing after her. In essence, chasing after you. So he doesn't want that. Of course, you got a Riri friend, because there's always a friend that's a little thrown off and she has a bald head, as you can see right here. She's going to do something stupid and end you up in jail, and he's going to have to bail you out, which means he's going to have to pay for it. And of course, everybody has that schizophrenic friend. You see how her hair is, electrified or whatever. So you and her get into it every time y'all go on a girls trip and everything like that. And so he's going to have to calm this situation down, and now you guys are about to get into it. So in all essence, all these women's shortcomings and malfunctions and dysfunctional behavior will come to you if you hang out with them, because birds of a feather flock together, and so we don't want you flocking with them. And that's your lesson for today.
Nah, he was 100%, bro, 100% correct. Can't get no better than that. The way he explained it. Birds of a feather flock together. But what happens is that the people that you're around the most, you tend to absorb their behavior, their mannerisms. So that's why it's important to be selective of the friends that you have, because they're going to influence you in ways you can't even imagine. You have to really be selective about that, You gotta look at people for what they had in life and select your friends that way. But he was 100% facts. You feel me?
Right, this is 3 lies that all girls tell. I'm finna put y'all on game. Number 1, body count. Most likely she gonna say 3 or 6 or maybe even 200. Any number that she tell you, add a 0 behind it. If she tell you any low number, she's a bop. I promise you. You just need to make sure you do the math correctly. She said she only got 3 bodies, but she been on this earth for 18 years. Plus, some ain't adding up. I'll just being real with y'all. We will never reveal our true body counts. We will always say a number less than 10. It's up to you if you want to be a dumbass. Number 2, if she says she doesn't party that much, I promise you that girl is lying through her teeth. She wants you to think that she's this sweet, innocent homebody. No, she's the one standing on the tables, letting people pour Hennessy down her mouth. They call her the deep throat demon. She gets down. She don't play. She be outside. Her middle name is Outside. Number 3, and it's the one you really got to watch out for. If she say, that's just my brother, I promise you that's code word for he want to hit, I just ain't let him yet. Or he already hit and we just didn't work out. That is not her brother. They do not have the same mom and dad. You think her brother will be giving her hugs from the back? Listening to her complain about you? Buying her food and flowers when she's upset? That's the guy she really wants. He just probably friend zoned her. The more you know, sprinkle, sprinkle.
Damn. I don't know. I'm about to unload. I watched that video with a couple people with my co-host and her co-worker. I watched that video with them, and their reaction said it all. Maybe some things could have been not correct, but for the most part, they said she was pretty much spot on. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, come back in. I don't want my blinds. I have a cat that just tears my blinds up.
Want to keep a relationship going, you stay in the masculine role, you let your woman stay in the feminine role. She gets to vent and download to you. You go talk to the goddamn tree. You only cry in front of your woman when an immediate family member dies or when you break both arms. And then you can only cry for about 3 seconds. Man the fuck up. You got the nerve to be mad at women because we bitches. Become the man of your dreams before you find the woman of yours. Feel me?
That's gonna take some time.
That's why I say you got 15 years.
Shout out to the Godfather, man. He was saying the right shit, man. I tell people that all the time. I tell niggas like, bruh, do not be venting to your girl. Vent to your niggas. Because the only thing you're gonna do is make yourself look weak. That's it. Once you look weak in front of her eyes, it's over. It's game. You're done for it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I tell him. What was I about to say? I was thinking about putting them AirPods in. What was I about to say about that though? I will say what I have to say though. I'm gonna say what I gotta say, but I don't do no crying. I don't cry by myself. I don't know. People say I be acting tough. I don't. I just don't have a reason to cry. It's like even with death. Like I think I've cried tears of joy, but I usually don't have a reason to cry. I don't know why. I just don't.
Understand that a lot of men, we don't really run away from marriage. We run away from divorce.
That's a fact.
We're not running away from marriage. I found out what marriage is. It's like, I love my girl to death, but you mean to tell me if I make one mistake, they can ruin me for the rest of my life on one mistake? If she make a mistake, it's cool. She make a mistake, divorce her, it's good. She just go on about her life. I make a mistake, that can cost me for the rest of my, that ain't really fair. I know one day I want to make my girl that happy because it's truly for her. It's just what they done made it to be now. It's really a money game now. It seems like, it's like, I get married. There's no benefits for me but to make her happy. So now if I get married, okay, cool. Now as a man or whoever I am, I haven't made no mistake with my girl for 8 years. Right. Never got no texts, no woman came to her as no woman. I'm not on camera, I'm not doing nothing. I done did my thing. You know what I'm saying? So you mean to tell me if I slip up, I do something up, and she just feel like she don't want to give me a chance, she could possibly take half of what I own.
That right there, that's one of my biggest fears, because it's crazy when you climb all the way to the top of something and you build it, and then, you know, just one person, because they feel like it, has the power to destroy it all. And so it's your life's work, you know, and you know, depending, things could get real rough, real fast.
Affection. I said, so where he's gonna get it?
Yeah, where is he?
Where is he about to get it? Especially if he doesn't have a mother in his life, or he doesn't have a close relationship. Where is this man getting this affection if it's not from you? And so how are you abusing that by pulling away your affections? And you think that's okay? That's a punishment to some women. Like, I'm not. My husband, I had to tell him a long time ago, hey, I'm your place of peace. My husband come in, I'm like, hey, you want to lay down in my lap? And I rub his back. He said, I love when you rub my back. I said, absolutely. He's bald, you know. I do rub his head. I rub his head. I rub his back. I do whatever, because I'm trying to be different than anybody in his life. I'm like, this man ain't never leaving me, because everybody out here ain't operating like this. Yeah. I want him to be like, I'm not going. If I leave this woman, I ain't gonna get my head rubbed. I ain't gonna get my back rubbed. I'm not gonna get it.
This message is tailored to the community, like the Black community, like, you know what I mean, the African Americans, the double A's, you hear me? Predominantly, most of us come from single parent homes, so we haven't really been able to see what a relationship is supposed to look like and how to relation with one, because of it coming from our mother's perspective. Their perspective, as nurturing as it wants to be, also has a flip side to it that kind of destroys everything. And that's what you typically see. You typically see like women destroying their home or different things like that, which is the exact opposite of what this woman was describing, because she understands that the man that she has to continue to earn him every day. And so when you get out of that, when you get into a sense of entitlement inside of the relationship, then you don't understand the value of gratitude. So I'm not supposed to be talking this long, but you know what I mean.
It's a special type of a person to be hurt and not try to hurt the person that hurt them. Because our natural instinct, dude cheap shot me, I'm gonna get his ass back. At some point in time in the game, I'm gonna get you back. As we start to mature, we get older, it's not to get back. It's not to get even, it's to move on.
I'm gonna tell you, like me, man, you go low, I go to hell. I don't give a fuck, for real. I don't play that shit. I'm gonna get mine back for sure.
Who's asking? Your girl is single.
Yeah, for sure. No,
hold on.
for sure.
Let me say this again. Depending on who's asking, even if she's with you, your girl is single.
For sure.
For sure.
Okay.
1,000%.
Yeah, I mean, that's common sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's a hierarchy of things. I mean, unless you got a chick that's super, super fucking loyal, you know, every chick got a price. You know what I'm saying? So.
Move on from cheating in a relationship. I would advise men and women differently. What I find, men who forgive cheating, because they find it so emasculating, they start to resent themselves. They start to be angry.
Not at the spouse, at themselves.
At themselves, because they don't have the strength to leave. Usually what happens is they get so angry at themselves, they start thinking that they are less of a man. They start thinking if their friends knew, what would they think? And what happens is they have all this anger and resentment, and it comes out in the form of abuse towards the woman or towards themselves.
Verbal and physical?
Verbal and physical. So it will turn into controlling behavior. It will turn into insults. It could be physical. And men don't know how to process emotions, so they process it physically through anger. It does something to them that's not good for them. For women, we have so much social support when we've been cheated on. We can talk to a friend who's been through the same thing. We can talk to our mom. We don't feel less of a woman in a sense. We just think he's a bit of an idiot. Whereas a man starts to think, I'm not a man if she's done this.
That's because you're not a man. That's exactly what it is. That's it. Because you ain't a man. Shit. She cheat, it's over. Ain't no coming back.
One of my unpopular opinions. The ability to have options is killing our ability to choose commitment. People be just taking too long to decide what's worth marrying. People be dating for 3 years, talking about, I'm still trying to see if this person right for me. What have you not seen in 3 years?
Right.
That gives you the information you need. And so I think we allow, culture to more inform our courting than we do the gospel. Let's get into this. Let's pray and discern. I promise you, God ain't confused for 3 years. So to me, if you've been dating for somebody for 3 years and you're not sure if you need to spend the rest of your life with them, that speaks more to your relationship with God than it does your relationship with them. Go on a fast and say, God, what do you see? And so I think we need to be more conscientious of that. I also think the conversations we have with individuals, some of us are so busy having a good time that we can't have a what I would call a wise time. So hey, sit down and say, okay, what conversation do we need to have to assess? Is this person, is this individual somebody I want to be in covenant with? And a lot of times we see the red flags way sooner than we like to admit. It's just that cuffing season. It's just that we're so enamored with companionship. That we'll stay connected to somebody in a season. Because it makes us more comfortable to have companion than it does to be actually connected to God alone. And I think we just need to redefine that, because just because I'm alone doesn't mean I'm lonely.
I could see why he said that. That actually makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. I like the way he put it though, biblically. It was a very powerful message. I would say that I think that though, in this dating market though, I don't think men are finding what they actually want. I think most men are settling, but the thought of marriage they're not comfortable with it because that person that they're with isn't, quite what they want. A lot of women are more masculine these days. They don't, so when you have to keep going back and forth with somebody all the time, it's like, I don't know if I want to lock this down. We could just casually date. I already fucked, so, that's what it is. I already fucked, so what's the point? You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm going to do a quick story time because I don't know what some of y'all problems are, making it seem like what I ordered was outrageous. This man took me to a steakhouse, okay? Keep that in mind. This is a dinner date. What do you do at dinner? You eat dinner. I told him that, I wanted steak, asparagus, I wanted, the full, So he knew, mind you, he picked the restaurant. I didn't pick it. He picked the restaurant, okay? So, and again, I got the lamb chops. The lamb chops are cheaper than the steak itself. That's number one. So if I would have got the steak and an appetizer or two, it would have added up to what the hell I ordered anyway.
Or two.
And also, I don't know about y'all.
Or two is crazy.
That's some standards. Okay? If you're taking me to a steakhouse, I'm going to order what I want. Mm-hmm. Not only because it's you're paying for it, but I can afford what I want to eat. Mm. Okay? Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong if you can't afford it, but I can afford it. So I'm not about to starve myself or act like I don't want to eat something because a guy took me on a date. I've never experienced something like that. So again, when I say it's the worst day ever, it is because I've never experienced nothing like that. And I never had a man walk out on me at dinner on a date. Basically the tab, because you didn't even ask how much the tab was. So that was crazy. It was a few red flags, me asking him, I had hinted, I was like, so what are you going to eat? And he just was like, oh, I'm not hungry, I ate. And I was like, why would you eat? We had dinner plans. He was like, because I have a 7-year-old. He got smart. He was like, because I have a 7-year-old. Mind you, this man been calling me all day, making sure I'm going on this date, making sure I'm okay. He wanted to send me food earlier. Was letting me know that we had to push our date back a little bit because he still had his son and he had to wait a little bit longer to drop his son off to his ex-wife. Cool, no biggie. So why would you eat knowing that we had dinner plans? I digress. That was the second red flag. I'm not even going to say what the other one was. But as soon as, mind you, he's sitting right next to me. So when I order all my food, he's hearing it. He's literally right next to me. We sat at the bar because he's 6'8" and he didn't want to sit at a table because his legs and his knees or whatever. Had no problem with that. So he's literally sitting directly next to me. He's hearing what I'm saying. I order my food, no comment. My food comes out, all these comments. And it just wasn't one or two comments. It was repeated comments back to back to back, where it was even the bartender was kind of like looking over it because it's like, you're making me feel uncomfortable. And like, if I was a bigger woman, I would have felt like you was body shaming me. Because why are you asking me that? Why are you asking me if I'm going to eat the food that I ordered? What did I order it for? Why are we on a dinner date? He was like, oh, you order all that? He was like, you going to eat all that? He was like, did you order something for your friends? He was like, if I wasn't here, was you going to order that? And I was like, that's such an interesting comment to make. And then it was like silent for 5 minutes, and then he apologized. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I wasn't trying to be rude. I was literally telling him, I was like, yeah, because I'm like, that was very offensive. I was like, I actually feel very disrespected. I was like, that was definitely rude. He was like, oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't my intentions. And I was like, okay. And I was like, and he was telling me, because prior to the food coming out, we had a conversation where I was stating that I don't like dating in Houston. And I was telling him why. He said he didn't like dating in Houston because he feel like women here are just finesse, like other cities. It's not like Houston. Like, this is the only city that women like money. He was just like, I feel like women just like you for your money. They wanted you to take them on trips and this, and that. That was like red flag number 2. Whatever. I'm like, okay. So he was breaking that to me. He was like, yeah, you know, this kind of just happened to my friend. And he took a girl on a date and she ordered all this food and he ended up leaving her. And he was saying, so like, he was like, and I told you, like, I feel like girls be trying to finesse. And I was like, I don't have to finesse you for dinner. I was like, even if you wasn't here, I would have been able to afford this tab myself. I was like, are you implying that you don't want to pay for my food? He was like, no, that's not what I'm implying. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, I was like, I would have respected if you would have said, like, you know, explain this to me instead of like telling me, you know, instead of making those remarks. He was like, oh, I just apologize about that. I said, I understand that, but I'm letting you know why I was upset and why I felt the way I felt. So then he was like, yeah, but like, you know, I was like, well, honestly, I was like, if you feel like people are going to finesse you or you have, and he was like, you know, this is probably like some of my trauma from my past and dating. And I was like, I understand that, but I was like, it's not fair for you to project what people did to you onto me. You just met me. I'm not dumb. So you can't say I'm trying to finesse you because, baby, I could pay for it myself. And I was like, honestly, if you feel like people are going to finesse you for dinner, I was like, maybe take them on a bowling date. Like, maybe take them to an arcade. But you're 45 years old. I understand I'm 25. Mind you, this man was talking to me about marriage. He was like, you're so mature for your age. Blase, 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 blase. But you're tripping about me ordering appetizer, entree, and sides. Okay. And it was to the point where, like, even the bartender was, like, literally side-eyeing because he just was, like, when I say it just was multiple comments back to back to back. Within the first fucking few minutes of my food getting, like, placed on the fucking counter. And I was just literally, like, it made me feel so uncomfortable, like, I've literally never been on a date like that ever. Ever. So then after I said, like, you know, maybe go on a bowling date or an arcade date, it was quiet for like a couple minutes. He was on his phone. He was calling an Uber. I already knew he was calling an Uber. So then he was like, yeah, I'm going to go. I was like, okay. He puts $100 cash down, walks out. He doesn't say bye. He doesn't say it was nice meeting you. He doesn't say, do you have a ride home? Or is there a way, are you okay to get home? Because remember, like I said, I Ubered with him. He didn't say anything. He just got up and left. Mind you, he said that his daughter's 25 or 24. Your daughter's my age. How would you feel if your daughter went on a date and a man treated her like that? But I digress. But yeah, all them comments that y'all making about like me doing too much, shut it up. Thank you.
This chick tried to finesse that man. Okay. He didn't fall for the finesse. Then she kept mentioning that she could pay for her own food. If you could pay for your own food and you really felt like that, you would say, no, it's fine. I can just pay. I'll pay for this. Like, I'm not going to protest to you that I can pay for my food. Don't worry about it. I'm going to pay for this. I know this is a lot. I'm going to pay for this. What he did was he cut his losses. He knew what it was hitting for. So he cut the losses. He did right. Smart man.